Hello guys, and welcome to Nordic Airframe. This is gonna be our first series, which is gonna be tutorials. If you're new to VATSIM and that stuff, this should be very helpful because I will go over the major parts, how you can achieve flying on the network. And by that, I mean that we're going to go over SIDs, FMS, and other important stuff. Today we are in our A320neo of SAS, and we are going from Landvetter to Kastrup. Very short leg. So from the beginning we're going to do a pre-departure. So if we go up to our overhead panel, we will turn on our external power and our batteries. As you can see, did a lot of things in the cockpits, a lot of sounds. Now the fans turn down. These screens will do the self-test as described, and I will just higher up the glowing. From here, I would suggest that you test your systems whenever these come on, so that you can actually see that they are working before turning on your other electrical equipment on board, like the APU for example. It's right there. I will do the APU test, which you can see works. We'll do engine 1 and engine 2. Now when we have that things done, you cannot forget this step, because this is gonna take forever if you don't do it, and that is to turn on your IRS, which you do up in this left corner right here. Because as you can see, the IRS will align in more than 7 minutes, which is quite a long time if you have already done all your pre-departure and just waiting for the IRS to align. While we do that, I will turn off these faulty messages, just because they really don't do an action in the aircraft currently. I will go ahead and turn on the seatbelt signs and no smoking signs and the emergency lights. And turn off the dome lights, and I will have my aircraft light up a little bit, so we turn on the navigation and logo lights and the strobes to auto. And as you can see, we have got our navigation lights on, which is quite nice. So if you don't already know, we have this FMS, which well, it does a lot of things actually, and it will be quite important for your flying. So for our pre-departure, we're going into initial, and as you can see here, we have a lot of things to write down. So from the beginning, I will write our destination and our origin, or perhaps the other way around, the origin and destination. So our origin will be Landvetter, which the ICAO code is Echo Sierra Sierra Golf. Sorry, Echo Sierra Golf Golf. And then we will take our slash, which we can see we have here, and we will have Kastrup, which is Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel. We will write that down here. As you can see, we got our co-route, which we haven't even plugged in, because we're going to plug in the waypoint to that stuff manually, because it's a very short route. Our flight number this evening will be Scandinavian, which is Sierra Kilo, and it will be 443. And why is that? Well, as you can see here on my briefing, we have it at the very top here, or if you want to be more specific, we have it right here. This is our ICAO, this is our flight number, which is Scandinavian 443. So we will plug it in here. Now our cost index will depend on each flight. That's why it's very important to have, for example, the sim brief. So if we go here and zoom in so you can see, it's a lot of information, but it will be very simple once you have done it many times. So where is our cost index? Well, if we look at our right, we have it right here. And as you can see, our cost index today is 2.8. So we write 2.8 and we plug it in. Now our cruising level and the temperature. And here is where all the beginners make a mistake, because if we take our temperature, some of us will write the ground temperature in our meter report, which is wrong, because we want to know our cruise level temperature so that our aircraft will adjust it. So if we look here, our cruise this evening, we scroll down a little bit. You'll see right here that our cruise level today is flight level 200, because this is our top of climb. So if we go here, we will write flight level 200 and plug it in. And as you can see, our cruise temperature will be minus 24 degrees Celsius. Now we will align our IRS, because we don't have to do that later on. There we go. Now our initial is done for this page, and now we go to the next page, which will be our fuel. And today we have a zero fuel weight, which stands for ZFW. Zero fuel weight this evening will be 64,000 kilograms. And as you can see here, we can only write 3 numbers. And here we are very lucky to have it like this, because now we can just write 64.3. Otherwise you will have to round up or down. Plug it in. And block, this is gonna be our block fuel, or our whole fuel, as we say. And as you can see here, we have a whole chart of fuels. And our block fuel, which stands right here, will be 4,211 kilograms. So we write it here, and as you can see, only 3 numbers here, so now we have to round. So here we will have 4.2. And why 4.2? Because here it says it's 4211. Well, this is because we only have 1,000ths of them, and not 10,000ths of them. So if it would be 14211, it will be 14.2. But now we have 4.2. So if we go back, you can see that they have already done everything for us. Our final time, which is our remainder fuel, which is 30 minutes always, and we can see our reserves is already 5% as shown with our continental 15 minutes. Now when everything here is done, as you can see, we can go ahead and go to the flight plan. And here is where all the struggles begin. So in an Airbus, it's quite different from a Boeing, and we will do Boeing in another time. But in an Airbus, you will first of all click on your origin, which is right here. And here you can see a lot of things going on. And if you're flying with a SID, it's called, which is what's it called? It's a standard instrument departure, as you can see right here. I totally forgot what it stands for. But if you're using a SID, you will write it down, which one you have. And today, we can see here at our routing menu, we have Topla free Mike departure from runway 03 at Landvetter. So if we go here, we go to departure, and we can see runways. We have the runway 03. And now, we select SIDs. If you don't have any SID, you can just skip this part with no SID. It's totally fine if you want to fly manual, but I am going to have my SID right now, which was Topla, free my departure, and they always skip the last letter, so you know. And now our transition waypoint, which today I will go ahead with none, but sometimes you will have a list here, and it's totally up to you, but to be sure, you would see at the SID where your transition altitude would be. And what is a transition altitude? Well, it's when you change your pressure setting from the local QNH to the standard. And the other way around, obviously. Now we insert it, and now we got a lot going on here. We have, for example, our SID right now. And now we want to file off the rest of the flight plan, of course. So then we will go back to our routing. And we can see here now we have L996 and Ernov. Well, here some of us would just say, oh, we write down L996 here, which would be wrong, because now the computer is trying to find a waypoint that it's named L996. But then what is L996? Well, this is an airway, as we say, and an airway is like a freeway, and you have a lot of waypoints in that freeway. So, for example, if you're driving a car and you want to go to certain destinations, you will surely pass some other cities and that stuff, which you can go to if you want to. And it's the same thing with here. Now we have an airway. So therefore, in Airbus, we will click on the top line. Now it says GPS primary, and that is because if we look up here, our IRS is aligned. Now you can see our SID right here, which stands with our waypoints as filed. We'll skip that for now. Now you can see here we have from Topla, and this is you have to be very careful with that, because you have to see where the airway is coming from, and we can see here that it is from Topla. If we have anything else here, I will not have to click Topla. From now, we are going to click Airways, and now you can see what we can write. So here, now we can write Lima 996 to Via. And then the next after this number and letters, or airway, you would write the next waypoint, which would be Ernov. And Ernov in this case will be our exiting waypoint. And then we insert it. And as you can see, we got a lot of what did I say? We get a lot of other waypoints. So for example, we got our top of climb, top of descent, a waypoint, a limit in speed, and we have Ernov. And now we will do the exactly same, but backwards. So for example, here at Topla, we can see we have Ernov and Ernov to Alpha arrival for runway 04 left at Kastrup. So if we go here and click Kastrup and arrival, you will see all this here, but this is nothing to do right now because everything can change. For example, the winds or some other obstacles in the way that can affect your star arrival. So we will skip this for now, and this will be our route. And as you can see, we have it on here. Now when we have this done, we will look at our preference, which we can see right here is not filled out yet. If we want to do it the easy way, we could do to request data right here. And as you can see, we can just click it and it's inserted. But if we want to do that the hard way, we can do that too in some other video. But for now, let's go over some instruments. So for my own preference, I will just click off some of these. This is the radio panel for the overhead, and I will just turn that off because it's just in the way and I don't need it, and I don't have a co-pilot on board, so we can turn it off here too. We only need the primary one. And here you can select your lights, for example. Now I turned off the dome light or the reading light. And we can lock the cockpit door as well, as you heard. And we reset our rudder so that it's always 0. Now we can also adjust our lighting, as you can see. I will have it on right. And our flood, which is the lights, which we cannot see right now because it's dark, but it doesn't really do really much. It's the lights that is on this one and this one. So now, if we want to push back, we would have to turn on some things first. Example, these systems right here, which is connected to the GPS, our terrain radar, system radar, ground slope radar, flap mode, and the landing. We will also turn on the crew supply. And from here, we would do a light test. And as you can see, everything is working fine. Now we can go ahead and turn on our probe heat, or the window heat, so that our windows don't crack up, and we can disconnect our jetway. And also you will need to close the doors, of course. So if I go to my menu right here, I'll just close the doors. Like so. And there we go. Now I will look at the meter report, because we want to plan our departure. You can do it many ways. You can look it up in real life, or you can look it at this website, or you can look it up on your VATSIM as well. I will use this for now, and we will go over how it works. So as you can see here, this is our report. We have Landvetter, and it was done the 4th of January at 13:20 Zulu time. The wind is 030 degrees, 13 knots, and dates clear and visibility okay. The temperature is -10 degrees, and the dew point is -13 degrees Celsius, of course, and the QNH is 1006. So we can use a lot of this information. For example, our pressure for Landvetter is 1006. And here, as you can see on the QNH, we will set 1006. And it did it on both sides, which is quite good, because then I don't have to do a cross check. We can also select our initial climb, which is 5,000 feet. And this you would get from an IFR clearance from the tower. But right now we aren't connected because we don't have any tower online. But if it would have an IFR clearance, it would be like, they would say your initial, they will say your squawk code, and they will say your SID. And that is mostly it. And I will also sometimes say your pressure if it's not a valid ATIS online. So in this example, our call sign is Scandinavian 97 Alpha, and we would say it like this. Hello tower, this is Scandinavian 97 Alpha. We are at stand 15 currently, as you can see here. We have information Quebec perhaps, and would like an IFR clearance to Kastrup. So what I have told here is that we are at stand 15. We have information Quebec, which is the ATIS letter, but right now we don't have an ATIS, so that was just imaginary. And we would like an IFR clearance to Kastrup. And an IFR clearance is instrumental flight routes, so you know. Then perhaps they would respond like this. Hello, Scandinavian 97 Alpha, 94 Alpha, you're cleared to Kastrup via Topla free mic departure. Your initial altitude will be 5,000 feet and your squawk is 1,000. So what he's told me here is that our SID is what we have programmed down here, which was Topla free mic departure, as you can see right here. He also said that our initial climb this evening would be 5,000 feet, and our squawk, which we will set down at the transponder here, would be 1,000, 1000. And if we had done that correctly, he would set reback correct. But if, for instance, I would have set the reback incorrectly, and perhaps I said we are cleared to Kastrup via Topla free hjulet departure, and initially it's 4,000, squawking 1,001. He would said negative, that, and he would reback the whole thing again until you get it right. So that is one thing you will have to practice offline before going on, because you will get a lot of troubles if you don't do it correctly all the time. But that is our pre-departure, and we will go ahead and set our fuel. And this evening we had our fuel at 4211, and rounded it's supposed to be 4200. And we will do a quick refuel this evening. We had full packs, as you can see in the weight. If we go up here, down, you can see here that our packs is 186. We have a cargo of 5.2, which will be 5,200 kilograms. Our payload is 20,000 kilograms. We have a zero fuel weight of 64,300 kilograms. We have a fuel of 4.2, which I said was 4,200 kilograms. And we have our initial takeoff weight of 68,300. And if you want to be more knowledgeable, you can see here we have our landing weight, which would be 67.1 kilograms. And why is it lower? Because it is our landing value. We have burned a lot of fuel, for instance, which affects our landing weight. And now we can go ahead and request a pushback, which I do it right here. And I have already pre-planned, so I will set it right there. Then I will request it, which I already did, because now it's coming right here. Now, before we do anything of that, we will turn on our APU, which is our auxiliary power unit, which will power up the airplane instead of the external power in the airplane. We will also go ahead and turn on the electric pump, which we did right there. Now we can hear the tow. Now we can turn on our packs, because they will be turned on as soon as the APU is turned on, which here it will say available in green afterwards. We can adjust our cockpit temperature, our cabin temperature, and here you have our flow.
Our flow ready to connect.
And I will just have it on norm for now, which is normal. And we will go ahead and turn on our fuel pumps. Also the XFED with our APU as well, so that they get fuel, because that is our own little engine. Now we have an available auxiliary power unit, so we will go ahead and turn on this. Now we have power in there. Now for instance, he's ready to push back our airplane. We will go ahead and turn off our parking brake. Oh yes, we have our shocks on. That is one thing we need to take away. And just as that, we are on the go.
Starting pushback.
And as you heard, he said we are clear to start on our engines, which we will go ahead and do actually. So right here, we have our engines, and we will select ignition start, and we will start with the number 2. If we look here, we've got our airplane going on, and we can turn on the beacon lights, which is the flashing red on the top and the bottom of the aircraft. And why do we turn on the second engine? Well, that is because we need to get our hydraulics to the engine 1, and our hydraulics unit is usually on the second engine, and therefore it can transfer via the PTU. So when we turn on the engine number 1 later on, you will hear the PTU going like barking dog, for instance, if you want to call it like that. We can look outside and see. Oh, we got a little bit of a cold start, I see. And why did we push this way? Well, it is because we're going to runway 03, which is down here. If it had been the other way around, which is 180 degrees the other way around, it would be runway 21, then we would have pushed the other way around. We can go ahead and turn off this. This is nothing you have to worry about, because this is just for your own preference. Now we got our engine available. We will wait until that turns off. Now we can go ahead and turn on the number 1 engine. And I don't think we got the PTU going on, but that's fine. Now I said turn on the parking brake. Do that.
Section south. Stand by.
And we wait for him to turn the top off. For instance, you want the map, you can click right here. It's just my own preference. I like it like that. And we will say that you can disconnect with the hand signal, like to do in real life. We can, for instance, test our wipers. Now we got a bit of a cold start, as you can see. We can test the other way around. And that's that.
Bypass removed. Along the left till the next time, about 6 wide.
As you heard, he would hand signal on the right, I think he said. The left, sorry. And therefore we have to take action of our left side if he's still stuck there. Which he probably isn't. Now we got our engine 1 available, which is nice. And for that, done the pre-departure. If you want to do it right now, the flaps, you can do it. As you can see, we have flaps 1 this evening, and we will go ahead and set flaps 1. And also our trim will be up 1.5. And here's our trim elevator, or the stabilizer, and we will set it to 1.5. And why is this? Well, it's because we have our V1, VR, V2, and this affects our trim. If we have a little bit of flaps, we need more trim, and if we had flaps full, we needed less trim. We might even need down flat. But now you have successfully done a pre-departure, and you're ready for taxi, which we will do in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed.